I'm Hugh from Dude to Dad, and I need your help on the biggest Mother's Day gift I've ever given. It'll only take a couple minutes and I'll talk fast. My wife Amy, who I often refer to as Mrs. Dude, will be celebrating her very first Mother's Day on May 10th. You see, we welcomed our first daughter, our first child actually, Emerson Victoria, on March 29th. Mother's Day is a complicated day for Amy, and this first one will no doubt be especially hard. When Amy's mom, Vicky, was pregnant with Amy, they found breast cancer. And she was told several times during that pregnancy that if she didn't terminate the pregnancy, she wouldn't survive the cancer. Amy's mom was apparently just as stubborn as she was and decided that she wouldn't terminate the pregnancy, and instead was part of some of the first cancer operations performed on a pregnant woman. She fought the cancer aggressively after Amy was born in March of 1980, but she passed away the day after Mother's Day in 1981. When Amy's mom was pregnant, she started doing hand embroidery for a quilt for Amy, and she carried around the pieces throughout the pregnancy, finishing the hand stitching, but because she was so sick, she was unable to put together the pieces or finish the quilting. Without anyone knowing, Amy's aunt, Vicky's sister, held on to the pieces for 29 years. And when they found out Amy was pregnant, they brought the pieces to Amy's grandmother, and the two of them have been piecing them and quilting them ever since. So the week before Amy's first Mother's Day, Emerson is going to get a present from her great-grandmother Dorothy and her grandma Vicky, who gave her life for Amy. What a fantastic Mother's Day story. I don't want to say that Amy hasn't had a great life, because she was raised by her dad and brother and dozens of incredible women, followed in her mom's footsteps, and become a teacher. And as you might have guessed, Emerson Victoria, her middle name, is in honor of her grandma. So I hope you're wondering, what can I do to help? And what's the project? I want to raise some real money for cancer research and the families affected by breast cancer. It's Mother's Day, for goodness sake, and we all have a mother. Many of us have sisters, some of us even have daughters. I cannot imagine my life, or anything more important in my life, than the women in it. When I started bouncing around this idea, someone suggested that we set a goal of $30,000 to raise. That's $1,000 for each year of Vicky Hyde's life. And so that's our goal. The first $15,000 will be given to the Susan G. Komen Fund for important research. And the second $15,000 will be committed to a new fund called Mrs. Dude's Boob Fund, which will go to families struggling with this disease. Now, these resources could be used for everything from hotel costs for families staying near hospitals, or scholarships for children in the family struggling with the cost of health care. There are millions of dollars being spent rightfully on important research to cure this disease. But there are families dealing with the stress of this disease today that could use this help right now. That's where Mrs. Dude's Boob Fund steps in. To reach this goal, we're going to focus on just three things. Number one, we believe that Ellen DeGeneres may be the best person to help share this message and reach our goals. If nothing else, she's the only person I know that can bring the dancer out in Mrs. Dude. I would also ask that you reply to her on Twitter @TheEllenShow, or comment on the message board on her Facebook group and tell her to watch this video. Now, she has so many messages and followers, but I'm confident that if we send it enough times, she'll see it, realize what a great Mother's Day story this is, and bring Mrs. Dude to New York to help us get the word out. As a side note, there are really only two things that will calm down Emerson when she's upset at this point: the voice of Ellen DeGeneres, and oddly enough, Alex Trebek. Take that for what it's worth. The second thing you can do, if you know anyone in the media, anyone who has a blog, or anyone that Twitters, share this video with them. Now, I know there are tens of thousands of mom blogs around the world that you know and know well. Ask them to write a story about the effort, or retweet it, or post it to their Facebook page. Anything to get the word out. Do you know a celebrity? Well, go ahead and ask P. Diddy or Oprah or Ashton Kutcher to make sure to send this out to their millions of followers to start the good work. Number three, finally, if you have the means and motivation, give whatever you can. This money will be well used. And if there aren't resources to start the Mrs. Dude Boob Fund, All of the money will go to the Komen Fund. Give freely. Encourage your families and coworkers or churches to give. Send the videos to your Facebook friends or email lists. Anything to get the word out. I can't thank you enough for watching. We'll keep you updated through the Dudetodad website, our Twitter feed, and the Dudetodad fan page on Facebook. Please forward this link and video on to someone you know. And, Mrs. Dude, I love you. And happy Mother's Day.